So we're going to start off doing a couple of quick word association exercises. Okay. I'm going to mention a person, and I want to hear the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear that person's name. I'm looking for a word or a phrase, nothing more. Okay. Everybody ready? I'm going to call on you, so don't blurt it out. I'm going to say it. Think about it for a second, and I'll call on you. I want to hear the first thing that popped into your mind, word or phrase. Let's start with President Biden. You all got a word or phrase popped into your mind? All right. Let's go in reverse order from how you introduce yourselves. Julius, go first.
Career politician.
All right. Michael?
Old.
Candace?
Old.
Jerome?
Old.
Alan?
Slow.
Carolyn?
Failure.
Failure, you said. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Nakia?
Old.
All right. Next person, former President Trump. First word or phrase that comes to mind when you hear his name. Everybody got one in mind? All right. Candace, why don't you go first?
Divisive.
Julius?
Crooked.
Carolyn?
Racist.
Alan?
Racist.
Jerome?
Racist.
Nakia?
Crazy.
Michael?
Incompetent.
Thank you. So let's go back to President Biden for a moment. What, if anything, do you like about him? Anybody can answer. Go ahead. What if anything do you like about him? Michael, go ahead.
I like his foreign policy, and I think he has a clear goal in mind with that.
Okay.
He knows how government works.
Okay. What else?
I feel like he kind of makes an attempt to bring everybody together, the two sides together, as well as he can.
Okay. What else?
I think that he also has a mind of the working class.
Okay. Great. Anything else that you like about President Biden? Going once, going twice. All right. Go on to the next question. Let's go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you like about him? Jerome?
Affirmative action.
Meaning what?
He is like 100% gun ho on like anything that he's tackling. Like with the first thing was the wall situation when building the wall.
Okay. So talk to me. Affirmative action meaning what? The traditional sense of affirmative action, or he's affirmative in taking action?
Affirmative in taking action. I'm sorry.
Got it. Okay. What else do you guys like about former President Trump?
He had a lot of policies that were business friendly.
Exactly. That's true.
Okay. What else? Nakia, did you have one you were going to say?
I'm going to say the same thing as Michael.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What else?
I like that he wants to take care of the U.S. before we're putting money out to other countries. That was one of the things I really did like about him as a president. So, yeah.
Okay.
And President Trump wanted to run the country as a company, and actually, the United States is a company.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's go back to President Biden for a moment. I know it's a little ping pong here going back and forth. What, if anything, do you dislike about President Biden?
Comes across as a very elderly man.
Okay. What else?
His follow through.
Meaning what?
Meaning he had very good intentions on a lot of policies, but he was not able to get them done.
Okay. What else? Michael?
he seems totally lost about a final opinion on the border. Good, bad, indifferent, just some kind of policy on the border that we could have and be executing to.
Got it. Okay. What else do you dislike about President Biden? I'll take the silence as it's time for the next question. Okay. You guys know where I'm going with the next question. What do you dislike about former President Trump?
His way of doing things. It was very instead of bringing the country together, I feel the country was divided, and it's like he pulled a scab off of everything that was like festering and waiting, as far as racism, as far as people just having audacity and speaking out against everything. And so I feel that instead of helping bringing the country back together, he further just divided the country.
Okay, thank you. What else do you dislike about former President Trump?
He was dishonest. He was a liar.
Okay.
Yeah, he firmly believes in deficit spending. He did it in his business life, and then he really got into it again as a leader of the U.S. in a time where we had done a lot to kind of come back to balance the books. We kind of went way back the other direction, even deeper in the hole.
Okay.
He's allowed all of the negative people to come to the forefront.
Okay. Meaning what, Julius? Like who?
Racists, anybody who is not about diversity or fair and equal treatment. Though, those people on the other side that were good.
Okay, thank you. Michael, sure.
I feel like he, unlike most politicians who kind of campaign on a platform that leans left or right, and they kind of come to the middle once they're elected, he never tried to come to the middle, it doesn't seem. He was firmly staunched in how he felt, and he really leaned into the far right.
Got it.
But I think that's due to him being inexperienced in politics.
Okay.
He was very inexperienced.
He sure talked like a good politician.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So by a show of fingers, who would say that on most days you pay attention to the 2024 presidential election? Show of fingers, who would say on most days you're paying attention to it? I got Julius. Anybody else? So just one of you. Okay. So the most likely election scenario at this point is that Biden is running against Trump again in November's election. For a moment, let's imagine the election is tomorrow. By a show of fingers, how many of you would take Trump if it's a head-to-head between those two? Show of fingers, who would take Trump? 0. Okay. So for the 7 of you who would not take Trump, are there any plausible, and I stress the word plausible, scenarios under which you would take Trump?
He would have to move to the middle. Like,
Okay.
his dwelling on the far side, the lies, all of that would have to kind of find its way to an end.
Okay. Michael, is that plausible that will happen?
No,
No. Okay.
I don't see it.
All right. Got it. So I'm asking, just to put a fine point on it, plausible scenarios, not hypothetical, like if he stopped doing this or started doing that, things that you actually think he would really do that would cause you to go, yeah, I've rethought him and now I would definitely vote for him. Anything that's any plausible scenario? I'll take that as a no. Okay. So when all of you were recruited for this focus group, you told us that you're dissatisfied with both Trump and Biden. So I want to hear from each of you briefly on this next question. So think about it just for a moment. How did you make up your mind, or how will you make up your mind on who you're going to vote for? You're not happy with either one of them. You're going to land on, you could land on either one of them or someone else. We'll get to that in a minute. How are you going to make up your mind? Nakia, help me. I see the look on your face. Talk to me about how you're going to make up your mind in all of this.
I guess with messaging, I would like the Democrats to speak more about what they are doing, what they have done to let us know how far they've come. If they make some, I don't want to say promises, but if they campaign on more progressive or even moderate policies that seem to help the country.
Okay.
I would more so vote.
Okay, so you want President Biden to do that.
Yes.
Okay. And that would help make up your mind between the two.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Candace, you're not happy with either one of them. How do you make up your mind between the two?
I feel like it's the lesser of two evils.
Okay.
It's either a politician who is making attempts to, do things for the entire country, or someone who's just about themselves or their party, their particular party and their people.
Okay, but
Not
recognizing
part
that's the choice, recognizing that's the choice, how do you make up your mind?
I'm not part of that party or those people. So the other
Got it.
option's the option.
All right. So I'm sorry. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you don't feel like you're part of, I guess, you were talking essentially about the Republican Party that you don't feel like you're a part of.
Correct.
So process of elimination, you take Biden even though you're not happy with him. Is that what I'm hearing?
I have more faith in him than I do in other candidates.
Okay. Got it. All right. Carolyn, help me with this. You're not happy with either one of them. How do you make up your mind?
I have no clue how I'm going to make up my mind because there's so much decisiveness with Trump. I know I can't go with him. So I would definitely have to lean toward Biden, but I would like to see many changes.
Okay. Such as?
The changes where they will be able to follow through and get things done. The Republicans are doing a lot of talking and not a lot of doing.
Okay.
And that's the main thing that I have against that. But to answer your question, I will lean more toward Biden than I would Trump.
Got it. Okay. Let me focus on the gentleman now. Jerome, how do you make up your mind between these two?
That's a tough choice, literally. Like I've been asking myself that, and it's definitely not easy to just say, hey, I could just make a choice. I mean, Trump is with allegations all out the wazoo, and then I hear a lot of stuff with Biden and backdoor deals and dealing with his son, and then I don't know. That's a tough choice to go through. If Biden does something about, I guess, I don't know if he's truly at fault for this, but why everything seems to be so much more expensive right now as far as housing. It's insanely high, and then the gas prices are starting to shoot right back up. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then even to hear the stuff that he has pretty much almost depleted the reserve fuel. So I mean, I don't know. It's a tough. If Biden was to be able to make some change with those type of things, I would pull for him.
Got it. Okay. So prices come down in particular. That's going to be a signal to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. Alan.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make up your mind?
Well, for me, it comes down to this whole thing with student loans. I'm really, that's one of the things that I know so many different people that are unable to qualify for, homes because of the fact that they have, all these student loans out there. And yeah, I get it. We can always say that they did not, that they should not have got them in the first place, but it is what it is at this point. I feel that if Biden can do more around student loans, then he definitely will get my vote again.
Okay. Thank you. Michael, how do you make up your mind?
I need the Democrats to provide a plan of how we're going to deal with the border. Can we finally get over the hump and a decision on student loans? Not just him. He keeps pushing things up. They keep getting pushed back. Just make up your mind. And honestly, and I know this sounds terrible, I'm going to vote against Trump. And if that means I'm voting for Biden, so be it.
Okay. And Julius.
It's very hard for me to vote for anyone that doesn't have a seat at the table for me.
Okay. Tell me what that means. Interpret that for me.
I don't think the Republicans are. I don't think they're honest about their intentions. I think it's all a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's all about money. Money, power. I don't know about the respect, but it's all about money and power. And I think, unfortunately, politics are a dirty business. And some people will do anything to win. And
Okay.
then when they win, they really show their true colors. Food, gas, a lot of things are very expensive. But that's not all because of our president, current, past, or future.
Got it. Thank you. So I'm going to give you one other scenario. We were talking about Trump versus Biden. So Cindy, get the slide ready if you would. Imagine the election is tomorrow and it's 5 candidates. Trump, Biden, Robert Kennedy Jr., Cornel West, and Jill Stein. And those are your 5 choices in North Carolina. Okay?
Biden.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna ask you to tell. I'm gonna call out the candidates now. I want to see how many votes each one gets. So with those 5 choices, show of fingers who takes Biden in that 5-way race. I got 6 of you, everybody but Michael. Okay. Michael, who are you taking in that race?
I'm willing to give Junior a try.
RFK Jr. Okay. Great. Cindy, you can take it down. And of the 7 of you, are any of you seriously considering not voting for president in November? Carolyn and Jerome. Just the 2 of you, okay. Jerome, tell me why. You're muted.
Kind of like what I said last time. I really don't know who to go for at this moment. I would probably again need to see how the rest of this year is going to go out and see if, you know, I guess see how the campaign goes and see really what Biden is. I don't know. I guess I would just really need to see how the rest of this year would go in order for me to make a decision. Obviously, I've never not voted, so if I didn't, this would be my first time. But I mean, this is as close as me never voting before ever now.
Okay. Carolyn, why would you seriously consider not voting in November?
Because I agree with Jerome. Trump, I don't want to go through another 4 years of his Make America Great Again, because America was not great. I don't want to go through another 4 years of Biden being indecisive as to what he's going to do. Because I too am concerned about the student loans, because I have grandchildren and my daughter's over $100,000 in student loans. The price of housing, food, gas, everything is constantly going up. There's no ceiling on anything. And I don't see Biden doing anything to make the cost of living more affordable for our country.
Got it. Thank you. So for the 2 of you, I'm going to focus on Jerome and Carolyn just for another minute or so. So for the 2 of you, does sitting it out, not voting, help one candidate over the other? I'm talking about Trump and Biden here. If you don't vote, Carolyn, do you see one candidate being helped by that more than the other, or hurt by that more than the other?
I think it's gonna hurt both equally
Okay. Jerome,
because your voice has to be heard.
okay. Jerome, what about you?
I agree with Carolyn 100%. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, not voting doesn't help either. I mean, so, I mean, you know, you need to be able to do something.
Okay. So, all right. So, if you don't vote, but did you vote for Biden the last time?
Yes,
Okay. So if you don't vote for Biden this time, does it make it even easier for Trump to win North Carolina again?
yes, because North Carolina is a red state.
Okay. Got it. All right. Jerome, do you agree with that or not?
100%.
Okay. For the two of you, just give me another couple moments on this. If hypothetically Barack Obama were running instead of Biden this year against Donald Trump, would you still be sitting it out?
No, I would not.
Okay.
To be honest.
Jerome, what about you?
I mean, again, I said that, but obviously again, I'm gonna vote. Like I said, I mean, voice
Mhm,
got to be heard. So, I
mhm.
mean, obviously, you know, that's more of a chance where I would be more apt to vote, you know, because of another person. But again, I would still need to see what would happen between now until November.
Got it. Okay.
And I just want to say, if Barack was running, then I would vote for him because I've seen him make some changes. I've seen some things that he's done.
Got it. Okay. One other scenario. If it were Kamala Harris, vice president, running against Trump instead of Biden, so it's Harris instead of Biden running against Trump, would you two still sit it out?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Really?
Jerome, you take that. I don't know.
Jerome,
That's tough.
why? Why is that a tough question?
I mean, she's you know, with Biden. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't, sometimes I feel like she's really pulling the strings because he's so old and he can't remember things. I just don't know. I don't know about her.
I don't
really
think it's
don't.
because he can't remember things or because he's old. Because he can be old and alert, but he is old.
Okay.
I don't think Kamala Harris has the experience because I don't think Trump has given her the opportunity. I think she's been more behind the scene or where he needed her to be.
You mean Biden? You mean Biden?
I mean Biden, yeah.
Okay. Got it. We're gonna get into it a little bit later, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. So for all seven of you, thank you for indulging me, Carolyn and Jerome, as I went down a little bit of a path with the two of you. So for all seven of you, what worries you more? 4 more years of Biden or 4 more years of Trump?
Both.
Well, if it's a close proposition, tell me which way you lean. So how many of you would say 4 more years of Biden worries you more? None of you. Who would say 4 more years of Trump? All 7 of you. Okay. Nakia, why does 4 more years of Trump worry you more?
I feel like 4 more years of Trump is going to divide the country even more. I feel like 4 more years, things might get good, but I think on the back end, after those 4 years, they're going to get bad. I feel like a lot of what Biden has to deal with is due to stuff that Trump did in office and he's fixing. So I don't want to have to go through 4 more years of fixing something Trump did once he's out of office.
Got it. Okay. Candace, why does 4 more years of Trump worry you more than 4 more years of Biden?
Well, 4 more years, we've had 4 years. And, maybe the economy was better, but relations with other people, that was just worse. And I feel like any kind of politician or businessman can come in and, you know, help with the economy, try to bring prices down, but bringing people together is a different kind of skill. And I don't think Trump has that skill set.
Got it. Okay. I also just want to know quickly with which political party you're currently registered or you're aligned with. So by a show of fingers, who would say that you're registered as a Democrat? How many of you are registered Democrats in this group? I've got 5. How many are registered Republican? Any? Jerome and Carolyn registered Republican. Okay, great. So we're going to start off tonight's substantive conversation with a couple of word association exercises. I'm going to mention a person's name, and I want to hear the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that person's name. I'm looking for a word or a phrase. Okay, so don't overthink it. Okay, everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll say out loud, then I'll tell you what the person is, and then I'll call on you one at a time. So the person who I want to hear a word or a phrase, first thing that comes to mind, President Biden. Everybody got a word or a phrase? Immediate thing comes to mind?
Old.
No, I'm going to call on you. Hang on a second. I want to call on you. So let me start with in reverse order from how you introduced yourselves. Michelle, why don't you go first?
I'm good.
Say it again.
I'm good. That's
You're
my
good.
phrase. I'm good.
So as soon as you hear President Biden, I'm good. Okay,
I'm good.
great. Kelly,
Old.
Michael,
Fragile.
Martin,
Old.
TC,
Incompetent.
Shalia,
Swacking.
Dorothy,
Right?
fake, you said? Okay, great. Welcome. Oh, thank you. All right, next person. Do the same thing for him. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Donald Trump? Everybody got one? All right. TC.
Rich.
Martin.
Grifter.
Shalia.
Disgusted.
Michelle.
I'm good on him too.
Michael.
Powerful.
Kelly.
Crazy.
Dorothy.
Powerful.
Is it powerful? Okay, got it. So let's go back to President Biden for a second. What, if anything, do you like about him? Anybody can offer it up now. Anybody has anything you like about President Biden? Tell me what it is.
I like that he rides his bike with his wife.
Okay, what else?
Family
Student.
man.
Say it again, Dorothy.
He's a family man.
Family man, okay,
Yeah.
Student loan forgiveness.
okay. What else?
I was gonna say the same thing as Michelle. Student loan forgiveness.
Okay, what else?
I like some of his policies that have been effective, such as we could talk about how the economy is doing. We could talk about how, goodness, there's a long list. One is the economy. 2 is the idea of there was a good cleanup from COVID-19 after what was left. Goodness, what else? There's the issue of really looking at addressing the issues of climate change. The final one is that he is willing to play better with foreign leaders versus just being a bully.
Okay, great.
I like that he likes ice cream.
Okay, got it. Let's go back to former President Trump. What do you folks like about him?
Nothing.
I'm looking for things that you like about him.
Oh,
charisma.
They can't break his spirit.
You can't break his spirit. Okay.
Right.
Michael, you said something too?
I like the can't break his spirit kind of thing about him. He just doesn't stop coming.
All right. What else?
I got one. He's a great cult leader.
Okay. So Martin, I'm looking for things that you think are positive about him. So I'm not looking for like, oh, he's great at being horrible at such and such. I'm asking the question as a straight question. So,
Okay.
okay. So, I'm sorry, go
I'll
ahead.
pass.
All right. Kelly?
His determination and his ability sometimes to say things that need to be said, even they're not always the best, but he says what he means, what he says, kind of thing.
Got it.
Straightforward.
What else? Shalia, did you have one? Did I cut you off inadvertently?
I just said he's consistent.
Consistent. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's go back to President Biden. I know it's a little bit of a ping pong exercise here. What, if anything, do you dislike about President Biden?
I'll go first. I think he's for show.
For show. Okay. Meaning what?
That he makes it sound good and a lot of unfulfilled promises.
Okay.
A lot of demonstrations.
Okay. Like he's demonstrating stuff. He's not going to demonstrations. You mean he's just saying stuff?
Like for like an example, like Juneteenth, how they had a big demonstration on there, but it was no actual policy behind that or anything for us. It was just a demonstration, like for show.
Oh, it's like symbolic.
Yes, he makes it look good.
Okay. Got it. What other things do you dislike about President Biden?
I like the fact that he put more blacks in office, but I
No.
think that was more of a show. But I like the fact that he did do it,
Okay. Got it. All right. Other things you dislike about President Biden?
Things I dislike about President Biden is I just don't think he tells the truth. And I feel like just being a Democrat, he knows he's not telling the truth and he misleading the people, and some people fall for it. Well, some people some people think for themselves. They can read, they can understand politics, and they know right from wrong. And I just don't like that. I don't like to see nobody mislead nobody. That's my opinion now,
Got it. Thanks, Dorothy. Anything else that people don't like about President Biden?
Yeah, I would say that his leadership style is a bit weaker. It's weak. I would prefer him to be more deliberate and forceful. It sort of goes back to the concept of when the other side goes low, we go high. I say bull. Be more. If you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, and I just see him weak in that area. That we're playing hardball here, and being nice is cute, but it really doesn't get the job done.
Got it. Okay.
I look at him as kind of smug and entitled and disingenuous.
Okay. Got it. All right. Go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you dislike about him?
That he pretty much he incites a lot of the wrong people. And with his presidency, he brought all of that out, like more to the forefront, and made people way more bold about their stance and how they feel about things, especially towards, I would say minorities.
Okay. What else do you not like about former President Trump?
He's
I
a
don't
puppet.
like, he seemed to be a bully sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why, in my opinion, that's why they always coming after him, because he's a bully, and that's the way life is. If you was a bully, somebody gonna always come out for you. And that's what he shows people, and they always attacking him, That's my opinion again.
Got it. Michelle, is there anything? Hang on a second. Michelle, is there anything you don't like about former President Trump?
He's sexist. He's delusional. He's old as hell. Oh, I'm sorry. He's very old. His views are antiquated. He's self-seeking, self-serving, selfish. I could continue.
Okay.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike Martin.
Oh, all right. I'm clinically able to diagnose, and he's a narcissist. And specifically, he's a puppet master. What he does is he plays to what they're weak at, he plays them up. And so as a result of that, he has a cult. And so yeah, I'll stop there.
Okay.
I don't
Maybe
think
Go
anybody
ahead.
said yes, but he's definitely racist. And like Kelly said, he made overt racism to extreme at this point. So a lot of people are more openly racist because of him.
Got it. TC, anything you don't like about former President Trump?
Yeah, he's stubborn. He's hard-headed. You know, he has to answer for a lot of the things that he did wrong in his past, as far as business-wise. He has a lot of legal issues that he has to deal with, and he needs to be honest about it.
Okay, got it. By a show of fingers, who would say that on most days you pay attention to the 2024 presidential election? On most days you're paying attention to it. I've got 3 of you, Dorothy, TC, and Martin. Okay. So the most likely election scenario at this point is that Biden is running against Trump again in November's election. For a moment, let's imagine the election is tomorrow. By a show of fingers, how many of you would take Trump in a 2-person race? Any of you? TC, you would. Okay, 1. And why would you take Trump?
If that was the only choice, you know, I want to use my right to vote. I don't want to just sit there and let things fall into place. But if it was between Biden or Trump, I have to go with Trump.
Why?
You know, a lot of the reasons that we stated here. Biden is weak. You know, we're at war, and all this stuff. You know, we weren't dealing with this stuff when Trump was president. You know, and I feel like we were a stronger nation, at least to the other countries, and we had a border issue that we were dealing with, handling. Now it's going crazy.
Okay, got it. So the other 6 of you would not take Trump. So what I want to know is there any plausible scenario? And I'm focused on the word plausible, not something outlandish where Trump has a personality transplant. I'm talking about, is there a plausible scenario under which you would take Trump? Any of the other 6 of you?
I would say yes. And I say that because I'm very much split down the middle. I'm not a fan of either candidate. So there is some, I guess, some wiggle room for me to lean one way or the other. But that's really why I would say there's a chance.
Okay, Michael, so, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm trying to understand. So what would Trump have to do for you to go, yeah, I'm willing to take him over Biden?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have answers to that right now. I don't know.
I can answer.
Michelle,
For me, it would depend on who he chose as his vice president.
Okay. Got it. So is there one that you would say, is there a person in mind where you've said, yeah, if he chose so-and-so, I would really consider voting for him?
No, there's nobody in mind. But if he did pick a candidate, because for me, I would actually have to look at what their policy was. So if he did choose a candidate where I was like, okay, I can fall in line with what they're saying, then I would, that would be the only plausible reason, because it would never be Trump himself.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I would vote for Trump too, if he would lay out his policies, what he gonna do when he get in office. And if it's something I like and I agree with, I will vote for him. But I'm not gonna vote when he don't lay out his policy and get in there and do what he wanna do. I wouldn't vote for him that way.
Okay. And Dorothy, you don't feel right now like you know what he would do with another 4 years?
Well, let me tell you, he did good when he was in there the other time. Now, he did good. We didn't have no wars and everything. People was making money and everything else. But now Joe Biden came in there, he just messed up everything. We fight 3 countries right now. And we got all these illegal peoples over here. They killing people. I follow the news like everybody else. They killing people and they taking jobs. They really are taking jobs.
Okay,
But
so hold on.
after
So Dorothy, hold on a second. So why wouldn't you automatically take Trump over Biden? When I asked that, why didn't you say, of course I'll take Trump, if you feel that way?
I wouldn't take him any kind of way. I would have to see what he promised, you know, when they have those debates and what he say he gonna do, I would have to hear that. I'm not, but sometimes I vote Democrat and sometimes I vote Republican. So, you
Got
know, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So when the 7 of you were recruited, you all told us that you are dissatisfied with both Trump and Biden. Yes. So I want to hear from each of you briefly on this next question. How are you going to make up your mind? And we're talking a little bit about this now. Dorothy, I think I understand your answers. You want to hear from both of them. Okay. See what they're going to do. Michael, you sounded very torn about this. How do you think you're going to make up your mind? Now that you had a few seconds to think about it, give any more insight into how you're going to make up your mind?
I would say if Trump has a plan for the border crisis, the migrant situation that's going on in a lot of major cities, and just any policies or mentions or some sort of consideration for some of the issues going on in the Black communities as well would be useful.
Useful, but is it useful, or is it going to actually determine who you vote for? I mean, is there still a chance you would vote for Biden? It sounds like there would be.
It could be because Trump makes me very nervous.
Okay.
He makes me nervous, and I don't trust either one, regardless of what kind of campaign promises they make.
Got it. Kelly, how are you going to make up your mind?
Like everyone's saying, it depends on his policy. Hopefully, we could possibly figure out a way to end all these wars that we're paying for, more jobs, and also the migrant crisis as well.
Okay, but you
A
seem
real solution.
Okay, but you seem inclined right now to vote for Biden, right?
Right now, lesser two evils, yes.
Okay, but it sounds as though Trump could do some things to win you over.
Yeah, depending on what he's talking about. Yeah.
Got it. Michelle, we established it depends in part on who Trump chooses as a running mate. What other considerations are in your mind choosing between Trump and Biden?
Choosing neither one. Like there is no other way for Trump to sway me. I mean, I take that back. There are ways, but none that he would be willing to do. Like if he, apologized for the attempted coup, or if he, ran back his words on trying to overturn the Constitution. And I mean, if there are things that he's willing to do to admit some of his wrongdoing and hold himself accountable, sure. But considering that's not the case, the only other way would be to bring in someone else that would hopefully, succeed him and maybe help with policy making.
Got it. Thank you. Shalia, how are you going to make up your mind?
I'm not. It's either I'm voting for Biden or there's them two, then I'm probably gonna, at this point, I'm not voting at all if it's just them two, but I'm definitely not going for Trump. So it's nothing. It's either I'm voting for Biden or nobody.
Okay. We're going to talk about that in a little bit about not voting too as a choice. Martin, how are you making up your mind?
By using history and not news media. Specifically, when President Obama was in office, he cleaned up what the previous Republican messed up. When Trump got in office, he rode on the coattails of what President Obama had laid out, which he saved this nation, which was getting ready to go into a Great Depression. And so after that coattail ride ended, we went into COVID. He bungled the hell out of COVID. I lost a son-in-law because of the bungling, that the inaction that happened because of it. So for me, I'm not going by news, I'm going by facts and history. If you look at the facts and the history, every time almost when a Republican gets into office, they screw it up. Fact, look at economies. So I'll stop.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
TC, how are you going to make up your mind?
Yeah, I like what Martin said about history, track record. It's really gonna take drastic changes for Biden for me to vote for him. If I get my student loan forgiveness, if certain policies are changed, I could possibly vote for Biden.
Wait, so hold on a second. You're leaning toward Trump, clearly. Mike, I got that right?
I'm really not leaning towards anyone. I feel like if I had to make a vote right now, I'm going to vote. You know, I'm not going to just sit by and not vote. But track record matters a lot. I don't like Biden's track record. You know, I am more favorable of Trump's track record. I voted for Trump in 2020. We weren't in war. We didn't have a lot of the issues we have now. So I'm for that. So yeah, but like I said, if Biden makes drastic changes, you know, I could vote for him.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So there's another scenario. We were just talking about Trump versus Biden, the two of them. Cindy's going to put up on the screen another election scenario. So I want you to imagine the election again is tomorrow, and it's these 5 candidates on the ballot in North Carolina: Biden, Trump, Robert Kennedy Jr., Cornel West, and Jill Stein. Okay, those 5. So I'd like to know, by a show of fingers, with those 5 choices, who would take President Biden? Show of fingers. Just 1, Martin? Kelly, 2? Just 2 of you, okay? How many of you would take Trump? We got TC, anybody else? Okay. How many of you would take RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr.? I got Dorothy. Anybody else? Okay. Show of fingers, who would take Cornel West? Shalia would take Cornel West. Who would take Jill Stein? Michelle? Okay, I'm missing one of you. Who am I missing? Michael, help me out. Who are you taking?
If it's tomorrow, I'd probably say Biden.
Okay, so I got a second Biden here, or third, I should say. The 3 of you would take, 1 would take Trump, 3 would take Biden, 1 would take RFK, 1 would take Cornel West. That gets me to 7. Yes. Trump, Kennedy, West. Yeah. Wait, do I have all 7 of you? Everybody voted? Okay. Got it. Okay, great. And one of you said would take Jill Stein, right? Michelle, was that you, right? Okay, great. All right. Now, Shalia, you said before that you would seriously consider not voting in November. Anybody else in Shalia's category would seriously consider not voting at all in November for president? Okay, just one of you. Shalia, tell me why you would consider not voting.
Just because I just feel like, not that my vote doesn't matter, but for me personally, I feel like in good faith for myself that it don't matter, because I'm not going to be satisfied with either one.
Okay, so hold on a second. So let me just unpack that. So it doesn't matter, or you're not going to be satisfied. What's the bigger thought going through your head?
I'm not gonna be satisfied.
Okay, so what does that mean to you? You're not going to be satisfied. Are you just uncomfortable with the idea of voting for somebody that you're not enthusiastic about?
No, I voted for Biden. I was enthusiastic about him before. So that's why I'm choosing not to do it again enthusiastically.
Okay, so
I know for a fact I'm not voting for Trump. So if I don't want to vote for Biden either, then my choice is to not vote.
So help me through this thought process. How do you choose between Biden or just not voting?
Because I mean, I can do a third party, but that to me is a waste of a vote too. So I just rather just not vote.
Okay, but so I understand you don't want to take a third party, but it sounds. I understand you don't want to do a third party, but it sounds to me like you're choosing between voting for someone or not voting at all. How do you make up your mind in between Biden and no one?
I'm not understanding. Like, are you talking about for the actual presidential election?
Yeah, in November. You're saying to me you might not vote in November, or you might vote for President Biden.
Mm.
So my question is, how do you make up your mind whether to vote for Biden or to stay home and not vote at all?
Because I don't know what's going to happen between then. Somebody could be in jail for all we know. So I don't know what November is actually going to look like for me. I don't know if policy is going to go. I don't know if my student loan forgiveness is going to take. I don't know what's going to happen before then. But as of now, I have no preference. If we voted today, I probably wouldn't vote.
Okay, hold on a second. So if President Biden comes through with student loan forgiveness, you might vote for him.
Mhm.
Okay. So literally it's that kind of thought process.
Yes. Because as of now, it's nothing. He's not doing nothing for me personally to where I feel like I want to give him my vote again. So it will have to be something that's done in between there to move me to show up to the polls for him.
Okay. And in your mind, Shalia, does sitting it out, not voting at all, help one candidate over the other?
I mean, it depends on, our state battleground. So, I'm sure. I don't know what North Carolina is going to do, but I'm not very optimistic about that either. It was just another reason why I'm just like, I don't care too much.
Okay. But isn't North Carolina, just to play devil's advocate for a second, isn't North Carolina one of the most important swing states in the country? And your vote
Yeah, like I said, it's a battle state, so I get that. But like I said, I'm not, to me, to where this country's at right now, I have no high hopes that we're going to go in the direction I would like us to. So they choose to abstain, sorry.
Got it. Okay. Couple other very quick questions on this. So, Shalia, thanks for being a good sport about this. I appreciate it. If it were Barack Obama running this year against Trump instead of Biden, would you still possibly sit it out?
Yes.
Okay. And why?
I mean, I feel like I said about Joe Biden, Obama for me was definitely first show too. I think the only thing for me moving wise was Obamacare. But besides that, a lot of things were not, a lot of promises were made that were not fulfilled. So I think also Obama was a lot for show too. So I had to be moved by that too.
Got it. I got one other hypothetical. You're being a very good sport, so thank you. If we're Vice President Kamala Harris running this year instead of Biden against Donald Trump, would you still sit it out if it's Harris against Trump?
I would probably still sit it out. That would do even probably worse for me.
Really? Okay. Got it. We're going to talk about her a little later, so I'll circle back on that. For the seven of you, what worries you more? 4 more years of Trump or 4 more years of Biden? By a show of fingers, who would say 4 more years of Trump worries you more? Show of fingers. 5 of you. Who says 4 more years of Biden worries you more? Dorothy and TC. Okay. TC, why does 4 more years of Biden worry you more?
Like I said, as is, like the way things are going right now with the border, with the wars, it's scary. And I voted for Trump in 2020 and things were all right. You know, he's not the best guy in the world. You know, he has some issues, but as far as policies and the State of the Union and war and the border and all these things, it seems like he really cares for America and puts America first.
Got it.
I don't know what Biden is doing.
Okay. Kelly, why does Trump worry you more than Biden?
But he's just so unpredictable. So you don't know what you're gonna get with him. And like I said, with his inciting of a certain type of people, that's very scary.
And Michael, why does Trump worry you more?
I just find Trump to be very volatile and unpredictable, like was mentioned, and very self-serving. And I think he responds emotionally sometimes, and I think he puts his interests above the interests of others a lot. And so that can concern me with a lot of the issues that we're dealing with right now.
Got it. Okay. I just want to know, for the 7 of you, with which political party you're currently registered. How many of you are registered as Democrats? Show of fingers. 4 of you. How many are registered as Republicans? Any of you registered as Republicans? How many of you registered as independents or not affiliated?
Unaffiliated.
3 of you. Great.